Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I feel like I haven't done a video in so long, but today I'm going to do a reading wrap up of all the books that I basically read in like October and November. I read like 7 in total, but one of them was like kind of a novella, so it was like super short. But yeah, I haven't done a video in so long. But before we get into the books, I actually have a package to open with you, so we're going to open this together. I already know who it's from. It's from the oodie. Oh my god, it's so prettily packaged. Guys, it literally looks like a blanket or a throw. It's like the softest, most fluffiest thing ever. So cute, and it came wrapped in a little bow, which is so perfect. Let me open this up and try it on for you guys. Oh my god. It's just so soft and fluffy. Look at it. This is my oodie. I'm going to try it on for you guys. Give me one sec. It's basically a giant kind of dressing gown hoodie. It's even got like some pockets here so you can like store stuff. It's super fluffy and cozy. It's so warm, especially now it's winter. I'm going to be using this all the time when I'm reading. But yeah, it's the coziest thing ever. You guys can use my discount Imaan15 for 15% off your order. I love it so much. I'm going to be wearing it all the time. Thank you so much to the oodie for sending me this, and yeah, everyone should go get one. Okay guys, let's move on to all the books that I read in October and November. First of all, let's just ignore this. Hopefully it doesn't fall. I had to take some of the books out because they're a part of the video, but hopefully it's stable enough and it won't fall. The first book that I read in October, I was about to say November then, was Wild Love by Elsie Silver. This book, I love Elsie Silver books. They're always really cute small town romances, and I just love cowboy books. Like, they're just, I don't know, I find them so comforting. But this one is about a guy called Ford and a girl called Rosie. I literally forgot her name for a second. Basically, Ford is opening up his own kind of recording studio back home in his like hometown, and Rosie has just basically moved back because she kind of got fired from her job, and I don't know, I think she's just looking for something new. So she basically ends up working for Ford, and he's also her brother's best friend, so it's kind of like a workplace brother's best friend romance. He's also been obsessed with her since they were like teenagers, so he's always kind of been in love with her, and it's like, it's just so cute and cozy, and I really like this book. I gave it like 4 stars. So yeah, that was the first book that I read. The next book that I read was the second book in the series, which is Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. This one is my favourite so far. I'm obsessed with this book. I gave it 5 stars. So it's about, West is basically, he's been introduced in the first book. He's Rosie's brother, so this one's about him. West is basically, I think he's like a horse trainer. He trains horses, and he meets this girl called Skylar. Skylar is basically this really big country music artist, and she's like super famous, like pop star vibes, and she basically ends up coming to the small town because she's there for like Ford's recording studio because he's her like her manager or something like that. But she's there because of him, and she basically ends up staying in West's kind of, staying on his property because he's got like kind of like a little cabin, and it's the cutest thing ever. It's also single dad trope because West has 2 kids, and oh my god, I don't know what it is about single dad trope, but it's gonna do it for me every single time. I was obsessed with this book. It literally made me cry. Like, it was so good. I feel like Skylar is such a relatable character because, you know, she's got a lot of like anxiety and stuff, and she becomes like her own person and kind of finds her way a bit more. She's very like lost, and like she doesn't really know what to do because everyone's kind of been controlling her life for her because she's like so famous and stuff, and like she's not really from, like, her family isn't very nice and stuff, and when she is like with West, and it's kind of like the family that she deserves, do you know what I mean, and she basically finds herself, and he's like so golden retriever, so he's like defo helping her. But yeah, it's the cutest romance ever. I gave it 5 stars. I was so obsessed with it. Like, the ending is just so perfect, and I'm really excited for the last book in the Rose Hill series. I think it's going to be a trilogy, I don't know. So the tropes were basically single dad. I think that's literally it. It's like single dad. I wouldn't say she's grumpy, but like she's a little bit more reserved than he is. He's definitely a bit more like bubbly, golden retriever vibes, and she's a bit more like reserved, kind of protecting herself. They kind of basically found comfort in each other, and it was just so perfect. Loved it. So the next book that I read, this was actually in November, I think, but it was The Striker by Anna Huang. I gave this book 4 stars, I think. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I think it was 4 stars. But this one is basically about Asher Donovan and Scarlett. Asher is basically a really, really famous footballer, and Scarlett is his rival's sister. She's a ballerina and she's also his kind of like trainer. So it's kind of like a forbidden romance. They can't really date, especially since Scarlett's brother Vincent has kind of like forbidden, he's basically kind of forbidden Asher to even like try anything with her. The thing is though, his rival, who's Scarlett's brother, is actually his teammate as well, so they kind of have like a, that's why their relationship is a bit like kind of tricky, because they're rivals and teammates. But yeah, this was a super cute book, kind of like a typical romance book, you know. He's basically obsessed with her and she's like, oh, I don't want to date a footballer, because she's kind of had like a bad history with footballers. But obviously, you know, he ends up changing her mind and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it's just super cute. So it actually talks a lot about both of their pasts, kind of, because Scarlett's kind of had like an accident that basically changed her life, and how she kind of has to live with it, and he's like super understanding, and it's just so cute how he basically helps her, and he like, you know, like acts of service and stuff. He just like does things that makes her condition like more easier and stuff for her. I loved how like the relationship also like developed between him and Vincent, because like, you know, they hated each other, but then they kind of became friends at the end. I really like this book. I gave it 4 stars. Anna Huang books just like always do it for me. I don't think I've ever hated, I think I only hated Twisted Love, but I loved all the rest of them. And I also didn't like King of Pride, didn't like that one. But yeah, the next book that I read was Spectacular by Stephanie Garber. Oh my god, can we talk about how stunning this is? Guys, look at the cover art. This is like the cover, super cute. And then inside it's got like so many pretty drawings, and it's got so many illustrations inside, which I loved. Let me show you. Oh my god, so basically this is like a holiday novella, so you're supposed to read it after you read Caraval. I read Caraval last year and it was one of my favourite series ever. This was basically like a little mini novella about Teller and Legend. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think it was super cute. My favourite part was probably like the end. Like at the end, I don't know, there was just like this one scene, I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but there was this one scene that I've been literally waiting for so long to happen. I don't really know, there's not really much I can say about this apart from it's just kind of like a little game. You know how Caraval is basically a big game, this is basically like a little mini game, and it's mainly about Teller. I don't know why Teller gets so much hate. Like, I feel like so many people hate her and Legend, but honestly guys, when I was reading Caraval, they were my favourite. Like, I love Scarlett and Julian so much, but I was there for Teller and Legend. This book is like defo Christmas vibes. It's like really Christmassy, super Christmas vibes. It's definitely something you could probably read in December. I read it in October, I think. But yeah, it was so cute. I read it in like probably 1 hour. But yeah, one of the cutest books I have read this year. Defo love that. I don't even know what I rated it. Let me check. I think I gave it like 4 stars because it's a novella. I didn't want to give it like 5. I gave it 4 stars, yeah. The last books that I read in November, yeah, November, because it's December today, was the Poppy War trilogy. Oh my god. You guys, I have been waiting to read, I don't know why I put this series off for so long. I think I did it because it was so, you know, I've heard people say so many things about it and say it's like really heavy, and I don't know, just like super, like you get so immersed into it, and I am obsessed with this. It put me in the biggest reading slump ever. I read them probably all in like under 2 weeks. Yeah, Poppy War is basically the first book. It's basically about a girl called Rin. Rin is basically a war orphan, and she's kind of gonna get married off to this like old guy that she doesn't want to marry. So she basically she studies really hard to get into this really elite military academy, and she ends up going there to kind of like escape this whole kind of like forced marriage thingy that her foster parents are going to put her through. But yeah, and at the academy she kind of discovers who she is, and like she's got some sort of like power, and she kind of learns how to, over the course of the 3 books, like not even in the first one, like she kind of learns how to kind of control this power and what the power actually is, and you know how she can like use this power to win the war and stuff. Yeah, the book is heavily focused on war. Don't go into this thinking it's like a romance book, because it's not. It's literally about war and that kind of stuff. It is not a romance book. Like romance isn't even a subplot. Like maybe there's like a teeny little bit, but it's very, very minuscule. There's a lot of like disturbing things that happen, but yeah, it was such an incredible book. I definitely would recommend it. if you're like able to read something like that. I feel like it took me a really long time to get through this book because it's so detailed and like the world building is actually crazy. The chapters are super long. I usually really don't like long chapters, but I feel like because this is so detailed, I really didn't mind, and it was just so incredibly written and amazing. I feel like it's like really real and like raw, but it was amazing. I can't even like explain to you how good it was. Like the last 2 books, I gave this one 4 stars and then I gave the last 2 5. They're probably one of the best series that I've ever read. They basically talk a lot about like shamanism in this book, like kind of like power. It's not really magic. I wouldn't say it's like magical, but it's kind of like a magical book. It's not really magical, but like in a sense that they're like kind of talking to gods and like that kind of stuff. I'd say it's like in that kind of area. But yeah, these were like incredible books. I'm actually currently reading Babel now. It's the same author, R.F. Kuang, and I'm enjoying it so far. But those were basically the books that I read in October, November, which was a lot more than I normally read. I still actually haven't reached my Goodreads goal. I think I've changed it like 3 or 4 times this year. I think I've read like 34 books maybe this year, which is actually fine, you know. You don't have to like read a certain number of books. Even if you read 1 book, it's like literally an achievement. But yeah, I'm gonna try and get through Babel soon. Hopefully I will not disappear after this video. I actually have so many cute videos planned after this one in the next coming week. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and thank you to the oodie for sending me this gorgeous oodie, which is super cozy, and yeah, I love it so much. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!